Moving on, in fourth place, sad to say, is Arsenal, also on 40 points, but with one more game played, who had a terrible last week. They lost to West Ham at home. They couldn't score, and then they lost again to Fulham. They're just incapable of beating these low blocks right now.
It is the obvious problem is we can see what Big Liv has been screening on this podcast for the past, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months, since May of last year. You need a proper striker. Gabriel Jesus, who says that my forte is passing the ball and not scoring, is not a striker you win the league with, and City knew that. So,
I mean, the big thing is, so I think every Arsenal fan would agree that we all know we need a different profile striker. Not necessarily to replace Jesus, but in games where it's just not working, we need a different profile, right? We need someone who's more physical, who's going to be between the 18-yard box. And Nketiah doesn't cut it. Like, I love Nketiah, but we need a different profile striker. You look at, I mean, Liverpool is the perfect archetype, right? They have different style strikers for different kinds of positions for different kinds of teams. That is what Arsenal is missing, and also it's just disappointing to watch. Like, honestly,
You don't have a goal threat.
yes.
Like Liverpool's strikers, they're different profiles, but they haven't been like as prolific as I would have liked them, but they still contributed. But then you have Salah, who's on like 12 or 13 goals in Prem right now. So that's what you're lacking. Like everyone was like, "Oh, Saka is probably like the best after Salah," but he's just a black Mudrik.
Oh.
Please this year, man.
First of all,
No.
he only had 7 goals and I think 12 assists. So contributions wise, but
He
for
has
you to compare,
4 goals in Prem, man. Mudrik has 3.
Mudryk has fine, but you also see like the overall. You know what? I don't know why I'm entertaining this horrible take. Horrible.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's this year he hasn't been as good, and he needs to step up. Or you need someone to step. Like you don't have the guy.
I am on
you
Big
need
Lev's
the guy.
side here.
That you're considering Saka the same level as Mudryk?
I'm not considering Saka the same level as Mudryk. I think Saka is very similar to his. He looks like he's going to be in a similar trend of his career as Marcus Rashford will be.
No, I disagree.
Inconsistent.
No, I disagree. I completely disagree. I know
you disagree because you like him because he's your local boy, and I also love Rashford. But by the time he's going to be 27, you're going to feel the same thing that I'm feeling.
Let me explain, because there's an adjustment period, right? It's like at every winger, there's always like that second year syndrome, third year, like there's an adjustment. Like if you saw what was happening the previous few years, especially like last year versus this year, Saka will never go one-on-one. He always has a minimum of 2 defenders, and it's something he has to learn how to deal with.
He got found out.
No, it's not that he got found out. Is it considered found out if you have, instead of 1 defender, you have 2 defenders? Is that
that's exactly that's exactly what it is. If Barcelona plays tiki taka, they got found out and they didn't play tiki taka anymore because people thought
found out. That is the rest of the team is having to adjust, because that means if Saka has 2 defenders, that means there's 1 defender who is not helping somewhere else. So
I still agree with Big Lev. He's supposed to be your biggest goal threat, and both Martinelli and Saka are not goal threats. They are people that you keep an eye on, but they won't create a goal out of nothing. They won't score. They won't drag your team forward.
This is the sign of 2 people whose brains are fried by the end of the year. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, bro. No, like compare it. Like okay,
that's why you didn't win 2 games. You didn't win 2 games.
So then you have to agree if Saka is fine, then the rest of your team is just completely incapable. Because I will tell you, and we'll get to this in Serie A, there's another winger who has 3 people assigned to him all the time. He still creates chances, but doesn't have the stats because the rest of this team is trash. I'm talking about Quara from Napoli.
Of course.
Unless Osimhen scores something, I watch the games, like they keep squandering, so... Okay, then Saka is a creator, but then the rest of the team is trash.
No. That is actually what is happening. And to be clear, it's the games where we have a low block against us, where there's literally 11 people behind. Those are impossible. So I agree with you. That is where we struggle, especially because we cannot create down the center. Like, it's impossible. When it's a low block,
also
completely agree with you, because he's having the same shoe.
I also think that the problem that Odegaard is having an off season.
Well,
last season Odegaard had 20 goals and 7 assists or 8 assists or whatever it was, or like 12 goals and 12 assists, something like that, like above average stats for an attacking midfielder. He dragged Arsenal on. He has 4 goals this season and 6 assists, it is below in a mid-season, like with 20 games in. He doesn't supply the people with the right amount. I don't know why. Is it maybe because Rice came along and he stole his thunder, so he's not the main guy anymore? But
No,
overall,
it's nothing like that. No, but
overall, the attack of Arsenal is lacking, and they're not a goal threat, and they cannot
yes,
win games. And I told you this before. The games that they won, I've been consistent on saying it. The games that they were winning, it looked like it was March, April at the end of the season. They're winning on and clinging on the last minute goals. You said it yourself about Liverpool last time. It's like you can win in the last minute so many times before those games turn into draws, and that's what exactly is happening with Arsenal as well.
no,
They need
no.
a
Listen,
striker and they need a midfielder, and Kai Havertz is sorry, it's not it.
no,
Also.
no. I
Yeah.
again, these are, you know what, we're gonna move on, but I agree with you about the need for a striker, and I think almost every Arsenal fan will agree with you. The rest of the statements, it's like, yes, the midfield is underperforming, absolutely, but to say that horrible take that Saka is the Mudrik of Arsenal, these other takes, you know what?
Bro, you're saying
Terrible
like
takes.
Mudryk is not a good player. Mudryk
He's
is a
not.
good
He's a
player.
terrible. You know what? We'll get to him.